Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television, GPTV. I'm Brett. It's Wednesday, which means it's brand new comic book day, and new comics are hitting the shelves all across the world. You can get them digitally, you can get them physically, you can get them like any way you want, which is pretty awesome. Way better than I remember growing up as a kid with comics. In my hands is one of those releases. This is Sanpaku. It's a new graphic novel by Kate Gavino from Archaia, which is an imprint of Boom Studios. Oh, how do I describe this one? So, it's about a girl named Marcin, and she's fascinated with this Japanese theory of Sanpaku, which has to do with like whites around your eyes, and if you can see certain whites around the iris, it means that there is bad things coming for you. Really fascinating thing, something I've never heard before in my entire life, so that alone was pretty interesting. What's more entertaining and fascinating read, and what's really interesting about this is the graphic novel goes in a direction I did not expect at all. Like, this isn't really just an exploration of Sanpaku. It is more of a discussion of faith and growing up and kind of just like accepting things without questioning. It's really, really interesting. So you know, it's not what I expected at all. I kind of thought about that this was going to be this graphic novel exploring a girl and this, you know, Japanese, this like Japanese belief and theory, and instead we get like this really interesting discussion about Catholicism and faith and believing in people and believing in oneself and a whole, it just kind of runs all over, which I thought it's fascinating. Like, it's really, really interesting, and going into it and coming out of it, like, just two totally different stories. I thought it was going to be one thing, and it wound up being something totally different. And for that, I think it was a fascinating read. Like, I'll admit there was a good about half of it that I was reading kind of like, what's going on? You know, where's this going? Kind of, you know, what am I experiencing here? When you know, I got to the end, and it is clearly, I mean, there's a very interesting theme to it. There's this really interesting discussion, this really interesting story that explores a lot of kind of growing up in youth, and for that I thought it was fascinating. It was a hell of a read, one that I would not be shocked if it's on a whole bunch of best of lists when the end of the year comes around. The art is interesting as well. This is not necessarily like your normal graphic novel. We're not talking like tons of panels. The pages are kind of one image with some text over it. There's not a lot of dialogue between multiple characters. It's just kind of like you're reading someone's diary, which is, I thought, also really, really interesting as well, in that it's not the, you know, the normal comics narrative that I'd expect. This is a lot of what I would think of seeing from something like Drawn Quarterly or Fantagraphics, and Archaia does amazing graphic novels. This also just seems to be kind of on the edge for them, as it's not necessarily a narrative like I've seen in the past of theirs, and they very well might have put out very similar graphic novels. I just might have missed them here and there. Instead, this feels like a move into the more, I don't want to say adult end of graphic novels because it's a little rude, but moving away from that narrative aspect of it and kind of more into graphic literature, graphic journalism, not really journalism, journals as in like, you know, write a journal and tell your story type of thing, as opposed to like journalism of reporting. So it's an interesting shift for, I think, Archaia as well. Really, overall, like, it's a wonderful read, really fascinating read, and again shows kind of the different nature of comics and what they can be. You can see some of the art. It's very detailed, and what we're expecting is obviously, you know, black and white, maybe a little bit gray here and there, but there's a lot to it. It's a really fascinating read. You can also see that it's way smaller than kind of a normal book. Normal comic. It's $24.99, just out there, nice hardcover. And this is one, it's just, you know, if you really appreciate graphic storytelling, you want to move away from kind of the normal narratives that you see, you know, move more towards some of that kind of like indie comics that are out there being done by things like Drawn Quarterly, Fantagraphics, all that. And, you know, tons of people that you see at like something like SPX. This is a book I would expect to see at SPX. That's probably the best way of putting it. This is a graphic novel that I would expect to see at Small Press Expo. So if you're looking for that sort of thing and, you know, a bit more mainstreamy publisher, I guess, this is a great thing to check out. Really interesting, really fascinating. You know, it's getting me to think about it well after I've read it. So this is out in comic book shops today. You can go get it there. Obviously, go support your local comic shop first and foremost. We want you to support local comic shops. You know, without them, industry just would not exist. And yeah, so this will be in bookstores next week. And if you don't have a comic shop near you, you can go find out if there's a link beneath this video. You can put in your zip code. It'll tell you if your shop's near you. No shop, no problem. We do have some affiliate links that you can go purchase through that, and they are affiliate links, so we do get a small percentage. By doing that, you support us, and thank you. Just by watching this video, support us. Speaking of support, I want to thank Boom for hooking us up with a review copy for free. We always like to be transparent when we get something for free. I mean, obviously the review copy not for sale is kind of a pretty clear one in that. So yeah, you can go get this. I recommend it. I actually think it's a really different thing, not what I was expecting at all, which is probably part of the reason I've been thinking about it a hell of a lot. Now, if you're into graphic novels, into comics at all, into Boom, Archaia, you can check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.